It's April 5th, 2026. A man stands on a busy street corner in downtown Chicago. He grips a plastic megaphone. He preaches to a crowd of strangers walking past him. He wears regular clothes. Just 6 days earlier, he wore an NBA jersey. His name is Jaden Ivy. He was a top 5 draft pick with the world at his feet. He held a guaranteed basketball contract worth $10.1 million. Today, his professional basketball career is completely over. The Chicago Bulls management team locked him out of the arena. They threw him out of the league. Sports networks claim he suffered a mental breakdown. Analysts say a knee injury ruined his season. Those statements are carefully crafted corporate lies. The Bulls front office deployed a legal mechanism to silence him. They actually paid out his full $10 million contract just to make him go away. Because Jaden Ivey discovered a truth that terrified a billion-dollar industry. And he refused to stop saying it out loud. On June 23rd, 2022, Jaden Ivey achieved the ultimate basketball dream. The Detroit Pistons selected him 5th overall in the NBA draft. He was instantly handed millions of dollars and global fame. But the view from the top was incredibly dark. Ivey later confessed to a life consumed by secret struggles. He admitted to chasing temporary highs through alcohol and pornography. Even hitting a game-winning shot left him feeling completely empty. Then the business of basketball shifted his reality. On February 3rd, 2026, a massive trade sent him to Chicago. He only managed to play 4 games in a Bulls uniform. By February 11th, a sore knee forced him off the court. The medical staff officially ruled him out for the rest of the season. This physical setback triggered a massive spiritual mechanism. When an athlete is injured, they are separated from the team schedule. They rehab in empty gyms while the rest of the roster travels. That forced isolation removes the constant noise of the NBA lifestyle. In the quiet rehab, Ivy experienced a radical religious conversion. He completely abandoned his old habits. He began reading scripture and sharing his raw testimony online. The transformation was so intense that his personal life fractured. Following Jesus requires immense trust and often involves deep betrayal. Jesus issued a very specific warning in Matthew chapter 10. He said a man's enemies will be members of his own household. Ivy experienced this painful scripture in real time. He claimed his family completely betrayed his trust. He publicly stated they called his sudden religious shift crazy. His wife, Caitlin Newton, fiercely disputed these intense claims. She posted on Instagram that she had never abandoned him. She actually accused him of lying just to get attention. But the severe strain on their marriage was incredibly obvious. During one Raw livestream, viewers heard a heartbreaking exchange. Caitlin begged him to please stop filming her. He was destroying his earthly relationship for his new faith. The deepest fracture was about to happen inside the Bulls facility, because a completely different Jaden Ivey was about to walk into the locker room. Jaden Ivey returned to the Chicago Bulls practice facility. He was no longer the quiet kid from the draft. He carried a Bible and a burning urgency. Team sources began leaking complaints to the local press. Staff members described his new behavior as incredibly preachy. Teammates grew exhausted by the constant spiritual tension. A player named Jones bluntly addressed the media circus. He said the locker room was simply ready to move on. He admitted that heavy religious talk is extremely rare in basketball. Ivy started treating standard media scrums like church pulpits. The Gospel of Luke predicts this exact scenario in chapter 21. Scripture says believers will be brought before authorities for his name, but it also promises this will lead to an opportunity for testimony. Ivy used the hostile media environment to do exactly that. During one post-practice interview, he turned the tables on a reporter. He directly asked the journalist if they had fornicated before marriage. The front office immediately panicked. They needed a corporate mechanism to hide him from the cameras. The team doctors insisted his left knee was too sore to play, but Ivy openly challenged the medical staff. He claimed that Jesus had completely healed his body. He told the team he was physically ready to take the court. The Bulls absolutely refused to activate him. Keeping a player on the injured list serves a dual purpose. It rests the physical body, but it also legally restricts a player's required media availability. The corporate strategy was to paint his spiritual awakening as a mental health breakdown. They thought revoking his press access would solve the problem. They severely underestimated his resolve, because Ivy simply took his message to a platform the Bulls could not control, and his next target was the most heavily guarded foundation of the NBA brand. Ivy refused to stay quiet on social media. In late March 2026, he launched intense Instagram live sessions. He aimed directly at the NBA's billion-dollar brand identity. The league spends massive amounts promoting Pride Month. They view it as a cornerstone of their inclusive corporate value system. Ivy publicly declared these celebrations a promotion of unrighteousness. He demanded to know why biblical righteousness was suddenly banned. The Gospel of John perfectly explains this corporate hostility. Chapter 15 states that the world loves its own, but because believers do not belong to the world hates them. Ivy did not just attack the secular corporate front office, he aimed his megaphone at the golden boy of the NBA. Ivy explicitly called out Steph Curry in front of thousands of viewers. He stated that Curry is not a real Christian. He argued that writing Philippians 4:13 on your shoe is meaningless. He claimed Curry operates in deep friendship with the world. Ivy stated his worldly lifestyle contradicts a true surrender to Jesus. He was burning every single bridge in professional basketball. The Chicago Bulls realized they had to terminate him immediately. But firing an employee directly for religious speech is highly illegal. It invites a massive workplace discrimination lawsuit. So the Bulls deployed a powerful contractual mechanism. The NBA collective bargaining agreement features a conduct detrimental clause. This is a legal catch-all tool designed by corporate lawyers. It allows a team to eliminate a player for damaging team chemistry. They legally framed his public preaching as severe workplace disruption. This loophole allowed them to bypass the religious freedom argument entirely. On March 30th, they officially waived Jaden Ivey. They willingly absorbed a $10 million financial hit. They bought him out to protect their carefully crafted corporate image. They assumed taking away his jersey would finally silence him. They were completely wrong, because hours after his release, Ivy walked onto a commercial flight. On the evening of March 30th, Jaden Ivey boarded a commercial flight. Hours earlier, he lost a massive NBA contract, yet he did not look like a defeated man. Instead, Ivy pulled out his phone. Opening the Instagram app, he initiated a live broadcast. Over 279,000 followers tuned in to watch him. Live streaming bypasses traditional public relations gatekeepers. This specific technology acts as a powerful anti-corporate mechanism. Chicago Bulls executives could no longer filter his exact words. For 34 straight minutes, he preached passionately. Staring into the camera lens, he spoke with absolute conviction. He explicitly named basketball legends LeBron James and Michael Jordan. Their championship rings hold absolutely zero value, he declared. Those golden trophies will not matter on Judgment Day. During the broadcast, a flight attendant approached his seat. She explicitly instructed him to power down his mobile device. Ivy boldly refused her direct request. Sitting on the tarmac, he continued to preach the gospel. Other passengers on the flight watched the incident unfold. Strangers stared at the former star in a cramped airplane seat. He ignored standard rules of social etiquette. The souls of his viewers mattered more than social comfort. Returning a second time, the attendant demanded compliance. Tension inside the aircraft cabin became incredibly thick. The camera kept rolling while the message kept flowing. He sternly warned his audience about coming righteous judgment. This defiance highlights a massive spiritual shift happening right now. The Book of Daniel speaks directly to this exact cultural friction. Many scholars severely misinterpret prophecy found in the Book of Daniel. Daniel 12:4 mentions that knowledge shall increase in the last days. People frequently assume this refers to secular technology. That is a completely false modern assumption. Daniel actually describes a sudden increase in understanding prophetic scripture. God is actively unsealing the true meaning of his words. Believers are waking up with intense spiritual clarity. This creates an immediate collision with secular corporate systems. The NBA built an entire brand around accommodating worldly behavior. They demand total compromise from their contracted athletes. Unsealed biblical knowledge makes compliance totally impossible. Ivy recognized the absolute emptiness of a secular basketball career. He traded worldly fame for eternal prophetic truth. Corporate entities rely on money to control their employees. Rejecting that money eliminates the corporate leverage entirely. The Bulls completely lost their control over Jaden Ivey. He broke their power mechanism right on the runway. Team management expected him to quietly disappear after his termination. His airplane livestream proved he was just getting started. This public defiance deeply humiliated the billionaire ownership group, and the corporate consequences quickly destroyed the Chicago front office. The Chicago Bulls organization plunged into absolute chaos. On April 7th, 2026, the corporate hammer finally dropped. Ownership fired Vice President Arturas Karnisovas without warning. They also terminated General Manager Mark Eversley. Proverbs 16 strongly warns that pride goes before destruction. The Bulls ownership group displayed absolute corporate pride. The mainstream media cited a poor winning record. The team secured only one playoff win in 6 seasons, but the specific timing of the purge is highly suspicious. These firings happened exactly 1 week after waiving Ivy. In corporate sports, firing are carefully timed PR mechanisms. Billionaire owners hate public humiliation more than losing games. The media demanded to know exactly what management knew beforehand. How deep was their vetting process before acquiring him? Vice President Arturas Karnisovas actually made the conversational trade. But he cowardly hid from the intense press conference questions. He forced head coach Billy Donovan to face the media. Donovan admitted he was completely excluded from the background checks. The coach had absolutely zero input on Ivy's character evaluation from Detroit. The front office completely failed to properly vet their investment. They handed a $10 million guaranteed contract to a perceived liability. Corporate executives view radical faith as a volatile brand risk. When Ivy refused to play the corporate game, management panicked. They burned millions of dollars trying to erase the problem. But Ivy's viral airplane video proved the cover-up completely failed. The situation became a national public relations disaster. Ownership utilized a clean slate protocol to save face. They sacrificed Karnisovas and Eversley to appease angry investors. The Bulls desperately tried to bury a street preacher. Instead, they accidentally blew up their entire executive board. Meanwhile, Jaden Ivey walked completely away from the wreckage. He left the luxury of professional sports behind entirely. Just days after losing his massive contract, he reappeared. He stood on the concrete pavement in downtown Chicago. He grabbed a plastic megaphone and began street preaching. He chose dirty sidewalks over polished hardwood floors. This is the exact definition of modern Christian persecution. Jesus warned his followers about this exact personal cost. In the book of John, Jesus spoke a hard truth. He stated that the world will severely hate true believers. He promised that if they persecuted him, they will persecute you. Living out biblical faith guarantees intense friction with the world. The secular system demands total obedience to worldly values. Ivy refused to compromise his biblical convictions for cash. He actually lived out the direct words of Jesus Christ. Matthew chapter 6 gives a very specific financial command. Believers are told to not store up treasures on earth. Moths and rust will eventually destroy all earthly wealth. Thieves break into secure vaults and steal material possessions. Instead, Jesus commands us to store up treasures in heaven. $10 million cannot buy eternal salvation. A basketball championship ring cannot save you on Judgment Day. Ivy sacrificed a worldly fortune for an eternal heavenly crown. His story is a massive wake-up call for modern believers. We are watching biblical prophecy unfold right before our eyes. The return of Jesus Christ is drawing incredibly close. The corporate world will continue to cancel true biblical Christianity. You must decide where your treasure is actually stored. Will you bow to the culture for a temporary paycheck? Or will you trust God and stand firm on His promises? Mark 8:36-37 says, "For what shall it profit a man, if he shall gain the whole world and lose his soul?" Let us know in the comments below what you would do and why.